Alright, shall we?
We shall. Let's do it. Let's talk about
Books.
books.
Alright. Hey nerds, it's Nathan and I have a very special guest today.
Hello.
Final edit.
Chelsea. My name is Chelsea.
Excellent. We are doing our first book club book review and we landed on the Tattooist of Auschwitz. Get it nice and close for the camera.
So a lovely, happy story.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure the audience could have a small guess at what the book is about, but do you want to maybe tell them a tiny blurb?
A tiny blurb. Okay,
Or
without
all of
giving
it?
too much away.
You can tell, as I do not do spoiler-free reviews.
Oh god, okay. I don't want to do any spoilers, but so pretty much it's kind of, I guess, simply a love story in like the midst of one of the worst historical things that has happened. But pretty much it's about this guy who becomes the Tattooist of Auschwitz. And he sets sight on a woman who he tattoos when she comes to Auschwitz. And it's kind of just the story about how they are in the camp together and how they kind of, I guess, progress their relationship within the camp and the trials that they have to go through within the camp as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
So part of the book club was everyone put in the book they wanted, and then apart from their own book, they voted for whatever sounded the best. This one sounded the best. Why did you want to pick this one?
Honestly, I had wanted to read it for a really, really long time. And I actually started reading it. I think I got to like chapter 4 or something like that earlier on. Mm-hmm. But then just kind of fell out of it, even though I really, really loved it. And I knew I'd loved it. So I wanted to pick it back up again.
It was a good excuse to just be like, oh, yeah, this one.
Pretty much, honestly. I wanted to finish reading it and like, because obviously I didn't get that far into it. So yeah, I wanted to finish reading it and then it was a good excuse to actually pick it up, so.
This is written by Heather Morris. I always fuck authors' names, so that's a nice, easy one.
It is.
Have you read any of her other books?
I actually haven't, no.
Oh, okay, because they're all in the front or the back. I can't remember which one. Yep, somewhere.
I did read isn't she a New Zealand author or something like that?
I believe she is. But yeah, she's written a bunch of other ones like this.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think she writes all kind of like historical literature, kind of love stories and that.
Yeah.
Did you read the blurb? Not the blurb, but the prologue at the back where she actually talks about meeting Lyle?
I didn't read that, but I read the note that his son wrote. That was really nice. I loved that.
Yeah.
It was really, really cute.
So this is actually based on real people, true story. And eventually the two main characters, or our two real characters, Lyle and Greta, actually eventually moved into Australia.
Yeah. I didn't know that when I first read
it.
No,
neither did
I. I continued reading. I was like, no shit. Like, that's really cool.
How good is that? Come to Australia. We love it here.
Honestly.
Yeah, she's Canadian.
Yeah, as you can tell, I'm not Australian.
And they're the nicest people ever. And she came here. But yeah, the author actually spent nearly 3 years piecing his story together because it was all a bit jumbled.
Wow.
And after the story, spoilers, Greta, eventually, she died a handful of years, prior.
Yes, I knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she met Lyle, basically figured out the story and started writing the book. And then after she was like, yeah, the book's done and it's going to be published, he died basically after that, very shortly. I think he was literally holding out.
Waiting.
The story was done. And I think one of the last things said in the book was basically, she's like, what do you do with yourself? He's like, I'm biding my time till we can be together again. And yeah, I was just like, I'm in bed, I'm reading the last couple pages and then...
Crying? I'm not crying, you're crying.
My phone pinged and I went, shut the fuck up, and launched it. And Kim was on the lounge, she's like, oh, I just sent you a meme, alright. fuck?
Dude, I was like finishing the book and Lyric started going off. Lyric is my bird. And she just like started going off. I was just like, you're going to the other room because you're not ruining the last few paragraphs of this book for me.
You listen here, you fucking bird.
Yeah.
Take two. I've never read a historical literature book. So I'm used to like a lot of fantasy and stuff, but this was very straightforward and direct.
Yeah.
Not a lot of like... There's no flair to it. Like,
No.
They talk
It's
about
just...
like people getting quite literally massacred.
Yeah.
It's just described as they're getting massacred and your brain has to do all the rest of the work.
Yeah, it's a pretty crazy thing to think about. Like, I guess I'll go back to a little bit of like... Because... A little bit of like, I guess part of the reason why I wanted to read it. So I don't know if you've ever, like you said that you haven't read a lot of like historical like stuff like this, but I have read a book called Night by, I don't know how to pronounce his name very well. It's Elie Wiesel, I think.
I think I know who you're talking about. I think I've seen it. I haven't read it, but I think
it's a book about him going to, I do believe it's Auschwitz and Birkenau, and he was there with his dad. And I read that when I was in high school. So that's kind of like where my interest with, I guess, historical literature in this type of format started. And it is a crazy thing to read because you're sitting there in your home.
Yeah.
You know, like reading about massacres.
Under my weighted blanket.
Yeah, no, exactly. And like, I really enjoy reading them, especially like, I guess having the experience of reading Night to the Tattooist of Auschwitz is a very different book in general. And like, especially, I would probably say it probably goes back to like his job at Auschwitz.
Yeah.
It's a very different experience between the two, but even just like, you know, like him walking and like saying like, yeah, like everyone outside the cabins just got mowed down and shot. Like,
yeah.
It
doesn't really need any more emphasis because it was real.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like it just like, it feels weird to enjoy reading it.
When he's talking about like, he's like Handler being in a shit mood and hungover one day. And yeah, like he just fires on a bunch of workers that are just having their lunch break essentially without the lunch. Yeah.
Loose term of lunch break.
Yeah. And yeah, there was that moment where he just stands there going, "What the actual fuck just happened?"
It's unimaginable, right? Like,
because it's so detached. Like, so, how could someone like get into the rhythm where they just go, "Yeah, I can just kill you," and just keep walking, and be like, "Hey, you coming?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crazy book to read, and just like and just to be sitting there like, cool, like
shit,
right? That just happened. Okay, like it's very unreal. Considering like it's something that someone like truly saw, you know.
I love the fact that he traded like 3 diamonds for a horse and cart.
That's what I was thinking.
I was like, yo.
Yeah.
Like, you probably just bought 6 of them.
Yeah, or like how he trades like a diamond for like sausage. You know? Like,
exactly.
Like, obviously there's danger in like bringing in that stuff and like giving it to them, right? So that probably also account for some of the danger, but still, like it's
it's mental.
It's wild. But it is a really good book. I really enjoyed reading it, even though it like you do go through these
it's sad.
very dark, sad,
it's dark,
awful experiences with all of them. Really,
I'm like, we'd all love to be like, I would so be like that character, but I wouldn't. I'd be so much like Greta, where it's like, you don't need to know my family name or what I did, because we're here. And if I wake up tomorrow, that's as good as it's gonna get.
Oh yes.
And he's just like, no, like let me romance you.
Let's
and he is.
flourish.
Mind you, he's a serious romantic, so good on him. But by the same token, like, she was so like, this is amazing.
Detached.
I love you. Yeah. But
which is fair.
Yeah.
As you probably
like,
would
don't
be.
bring me flowers because you'll probably get shot. Like,
Yeah.
I'm cool with just hanging out.
Yeah, honestly, like stealing a chat together and like literally stealing, like sneaking off to even talk to each other one-on-one.
Yeah.
Like,
there was just so many past this. I was like, this is a thin book, by the way.
It is.
I want more. I've said that a few times with some short books. I want more, especially with this. I wanted, like, I don't know. But it was plenty of story though, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Like, it was.
I didn't feel like I missed out. I just want to be greedy.
Yeah, you just want to know more because it's like you just want to know more about the characters, but like the people. Yeah.
I love, like, I didn't even think about it, but like when he gets just marched away or whatever, or because he's got to go to work, and then there are so many like new prisoners that he tattoos from like sun up to sundown, and then he has to go straight back to it the next day, and like he doesn't even know how long it's been. Like 3 days later, she's like, "I thought you died," and he was like, "Oh yeah, maybe next time I'll try and sneak you a note."
Working.
Yeah, but then like he tries to sneak them a note, and he's just like, "Oh fuck, I've asked for favors. This could go so badly south."
Well, like I think it's just like wild the weird, fucked up relationship he's got with his handler.
Oh yeah,
because like that. Like 1 minute his handler is just like a complete asshole and like is.
I can't remember what I was saying.
I don't remember either. Oh, the fucking his handler like asking him.
Yeah. But he was like, he's like, "Oh, would you like to like write her a note?" And straight away his first thought is, pen and paper is contraband, and he'll have every excuse to just shoot me. And he's like,
yeah, it's
no.
like
and then like
it's like playing the game.
Yeah, and then like 2 years later, he's been at it for like 2 years by this point. He's just like, "Oh, I should get her a note." And he's like, "But it's a bit risky." Risk it for the biscuit. And I was like, what?
Yeah. No, it's like playing this game with his handler, and his handler is playing the game back.
That's the thing. I think that's why he did it, because he was like, eventually he will get caught and I will relish the day sort of thing. But then he never, because the handler did his job so well, because obviously the handler doesn't want to get caught.
No, exactly.
Nothing happens.
He'll get punished too.
Yeah.
Like if he, like.
It'll be seen as like conspiracy or something.
Exactly. Yeah.
By the way, guys, like, risk it for the biscuit is an Australian. Do you have that over there?
I think so. But honestly, I've been here for so long that I don't remember what phrases come from where.
Yeah. No matter what, no biscuit is worth a fucking bullet, I'll tell you.
Absolutely not.
No offense to all our lovely ladies out there, but no.
I'm a lady saying it's not.
Adam might disagree.
Yeah. You might. We don't know. I do think highly of myself, but I don't think I think that highly of myself.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, no. Fucking an intense book.
It is.
Good pick, honestly. I wasn't sure where it was going to go, because the list was like Nathan's sci-fi, my fantasy, Sunny's fantasy, and then just like the most depressing story that's ever existed. But the thing is, I went online, I saw the blurb, and I went, oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Like, I saw everyone else's suggestions, and I was like, this might be a little off-key, but I'm going to go for it. No,
I'm actually interested to see some of her other works, actually.
Me too, actually.
I'm not going to lie. After reading this, I was like,
okay.
Yeah, not bad.
You know, it's so dark, and it's so sad, but it's a really good story.
Oh, it's like that heartwarming tale of like the found family thing.
Yeah.
Oh, when he goes back home.
Oh, God.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Just letting you know, it is intense. Like, short book again, but it is intense all the way up for like 2/3 of the book.
Yeah.
And then we get to the last part of the book, and the intensity dies down, but the heartbreak.
But yeah, it's just heart wrenching. And when she goes home,
oh, Jesus Christ! When he's working for the Russians, that fucking made me laugh. Like, not like, but I was just like, what a weird situation to be in.
Oh yeah,
to just be,
what a weird turn of events.
Yeah, to just be given like almost complete free reign, but still like slightly held prisoner.
Exactly.
But now by new captors. But then they're just like, yes, find these women and prostitute them for us.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, how am I gonna do that? And they all just went, yo, I want those jewelry.
Yeah.
I'll take the money.
No, exactly. Well, like, and I think too, he, like, throughout the book, you see him built up as not a ladies' man, but someone who, like, truly, like, just appreciates women.
Oh, he grew up with, like, respect.
Exactly.
Like, old school respect.
Really, really appreciates women.
Or what we call old school.
Yes.
Yeah.
And, like, he walks into this shop and instantly it's, like, charisma, right? It's not, like, he's not, like peacocking around and, like, trying to get these, like, the women's attention. He, like, is just
being a gentleman.
And being
he's
a
just
gentleman.
Being a gentleman, yeah.
And, yeah, it's all of a sudden like, oh, yeah, I want those jewels. Like, it's not hard at all for him.
But that's, like, when he's talking to his handler, too. And his handler is talking about, like, his girlfriend or whatever.
Yes.
And he, like, talks about her a bit badly. And he's like, do you have, like, siblings? He's like, yeah, like, I have a sister. He's like, what if someone spoke about your sister that way? And he's like, oh, I'd punch him. Yeah. And he's just like, my point exactly.
Make it make sense, sir.
And he's like, what, you think you're a ladies' man? A women whisperer? And he's like, no, not by any means. But, you know, don't treat him like horseshit.
Yeah, and, like, when he walks into that shop, he just, like...
Oh, that
They just, like, come flocking to him, and it's so easy for him, because he's treating them so well. Like, it's crazy.
Just like, hey, you piece of meat. He's just like, excuse me, miss.
Excuse
and
me
they're
now?
like, oh,
yeah.
a gentleman at last. A lot of fucking shit happens in a...
Yeah, it's like an entire, like...
You know what? This could... You know when, like, you see, like, the mini-series on, like, HBO or whatever, and, like, each episode is, like, an hour and a half long?
Absolutely.
This could be a mini-series.
Absolutely.
Easily.
Yeah.
I think the thing that was, like... Because you become, like... Everybody. Doesn't matter what you do. Once you get into a routine, you sort of become conditioned.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how many times I've said it, like, this year, where I go, Jesus Christ, it's the end of March. Or, like, Jesus Christ, it's the end of April. Like, where the fuck did the rest of my month go? And he's, like...
That's kind of how he explains, like, his
and he's in the
right?
office, and he's just, like... Sees a piece of... Because he's never allowed to actually see the date.
Yeah.
And he sees a piece of paper in their office, and it's got the date on it, and he just goes, oh my God, I've been here, like, 3.5 years.
Yeah.
And his mind is just like cracks.
Yeah.
He's like, it can't be that. Have I actually been here that fucking
It gives me goosebumps. Like, your reality would, like, falter. Even, like, you take COVID, like,
oh yeah,
with COVID happening, I didn't see my parents for like 3 years. Yeah. And then you see them, you're like, 3 years.
Fuck, Jesus.
Yeah. Like, wow, all right.
That'd be. I've never actually thought about that, because a lot of people I know who were from overseas were like, I have to go now because I will get stuck here. So they, obviously, you had a career and Adam and everything here, so you were like, I have to stay here.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be weird.
Yeah.
Now imagine that 3 years, but you're locked in. You're locked in a big barbed wire fence. Fuck, that's crazy.
No, like, it's like I said before, it's completely unimaginable.
I mean, like, I've seen this thing. It's like a test that you can do online. Like, you know how you do it, like, there's, which house would you be in for Harry Potter? But, like, there's one, it was like, would you actually survive in a fantasy world?
Probably not.
Yeah, right? And that's the thing. It's like, what actual skills do you have and, like, all this other shit? And, like...
I have no skills.
I did that years ago, and, like, whenever I pick up particular books, and I'm really invested in the book, I go, would I survive in one of those worlds? And I'm just like, not a fucking chance.
You know what I actually...
Not with this hair.
No. You know what I thought, like, literally just thought of as you were saying that? I have the special skill of smiling when I feel awkward, that would get me killed instantly.
I mean,
I would die.
Wait,
Someone would think, a guard would think I'm being smart, and then they shoot me.
Hold on. Being like bipolar, I would not have medication back then, so that'd probably get me there. But no, like when I'm like super stressed out, I sleepwalk.
Oh God!
I would and like
you would get shot.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't even know that it was happening.
No, like you can ask him if I'm in a place where I'm not super comfortable for the first night. I'm sleeping there. Like a handful of times I've been over like friends' houses or whatever. I get up and sleepwalk into somebody else's house, and she's had to like grab me. If I was like that stressed out, I would 100% sleepwalk, and they'd just be like, "Hey, he's getting up."
Yeah.
Hey.
Doing something, let's shoot him. Like, honestly.
Well, like, when they say, like, you don't wake a sleepwalker, Dad's done that once.
Yeah.
Like, when I was younger and I first started doing it. He's like, what are you doing? Like, touch me. I was like, no! And I just fucking elbowed my dad in the face.
And that would get you shot for sure.
Yeah, that's the thing, that too. It's like, I don't think it's like, back then they would have been like, hey, I don't think this guy's awake. Hey, slap.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah. No, absolutely. No,
I don't know how they did it. I don't know how anyone who actually made it through.
Oh my God.
Like, some of them were just like you hear some stories where like, I put my head down, I shut up, and I made myself invisible.
Yeah.
Other times they're like, I made myself indispensable.
Yeah.
And then other times it was just like, there were just so many fucking people, I got lost in the crowd.
Yeah. Which,
like, that was it. It wasn't any special
like,
set of skills. It wasn't because I was clever or I knew how to like just do shit really well or hide really well.
Yeah.
It's just there were so many fucking people there that they wouldn't know. They wouldn't have been able. Like if I went fuck you, ran to a crowd, they wouldn't be able to pick me up.
Like it, and all three of those things are just like so unimaginable to like. And he obviously makes himself not totally indispensable.
He makes himself very useful,
but he makes himself super useful. And yeah, and then obviously Greta, I can't say her name as well as you can. She chooses the other route, like
she wants to become invisible,
like pure survival mode. But I guess spoilers. It obviously works.
Yeah, it works out
for both of them.
The lovers finally get to be reunited in the end.
Yeah.
Or get to be together in the end, I should say. What was the best and the worst part of the book for you?
Oh, I don't know. I have to say the best was when you finally... Okay, I'll say my best and then I'll say my second best because I do love my second best as well. So you're obviously reading that, like, he is now at the very end, he's where she is and you know that she's there and like you're just waiting for that reunite and like that. So that's like right before that is when Lyric was going off and I was like, nope, you're going to another room because I know what's happening here. And
not spoil this for me.
No, and like you're so excited for that.
Yeah.
For that moment, you know, like that's definitely the best for me. But the honorable mention is when he is just telling the Russians like, oh, I'm just going to be back a little bit later.
Okay, that was either going to be my best or my honorable mention as well. Like,
I'm just going to have to take a little bit extra today, you know, like
they're getting greedy.
Yeah.
No, that I love that too because you look at so much stuff that actually happens, like even in some like modern wars today, people just get lax.
Yeah.
Or like there's not enough, like it's always like bureaucracy. There's never enough pencil pushers or something.
No.
Like, and so the guy who's meant to be looking after him can't look after him because he gets moved somewhere else and there's no one for him. So they're like, oh, you'll be
fine.
That's like when you hear about people who like work in a job but they don't actually do anything and no one knows what they do and they work there for like 2 years before like the company goes bankrupt or they decide to leave and they're just like, I went to work every day and did nothing.
Yep.
Because no one knew my job. Like that sort of thing.
No one had any idea what I was supposed to do.
Because something falls through the cracks. And I love the fact that it happened in the camps and it happened outside the camps.
Yeah.
And it was just like, if that's not just like the peak of like human behavior of
Oh,
that
yeah.
you're somebody else's problem
Absolutely.
and nobody else saying
Yeah. And it's nobody's fault.
yeah. That's either my top or my honorable mention. I can't quite tell. I think it's an even tie between that and him buying the horse and cart.
Yeah.
For like
Three diamonds.
Three massive diamonds. Yeah, that killed me. What was like the part that hit you hardest? What was like your worst part where you're reading it or when you're listening to it and you were like, no?
Oh no, there's a few.
I know one that just got me so hard, but
I really
the part where he just like they were just like they're gone.
Yeah.
That shock, and he died inside. Like a piece of him died.
It's like it's a heart-wrenching.
And he was just like, there were so many children, and he's just like, oh no, like, and he's just like, yeah, I just cried myself to sleep that night.
What
are you doing?
It's awful. Like that. Like there's so many just awful
moments. that took the there was a lot of bad shit, but that took the cake for me because I think that was the most for a lot of it. He has obviously genuine reactions to bad shit happening, but it's bad shit happening, and anyone would probably react fairly similar. That one got me the most because I think it was the most personal to him because he was living with their camp.
And up until that point too, you you read him, I guess, manage his emotions fairly well because he kind of knows that he has to, right?
Yeah.
Or at least from what we read, and that it breaks him. And I think, you really get an insight on how much both like the camp and that woman that reminded him of his mom really, really was like helping him cope with everything going on. Well, that's the thing. It's really, really heart wrenching.
And like when he came, like when he would work like consecutive days in a row, and he'd come back, and they'd all be like, "Oh my god, we've missed you!" And all the kids they were so excited because like even though they're kids, they knew like if he goes, he might not come back. Something. And there was, and like that's the thing. It was like that little bit of like a second family.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a really bad bit.
Yeah, it was a good book.
It was a really good book.
I don't do the rating system. I had a little rant on one of my other videos about the rating system. But what would you rate this?
How are we? Are we rating 1 to 10 or 0 to 10? Or 1 to 5?
However you like. Whatever works best for you. This is why I don't use the rating system. You give it a 3 and people are like, average? I don't want to read average. You're like, no, it's good. It's just not a 4.
It's very, very good. I'm going to rate 0 to 10.
Okay.
That's going to be my rating system. And I would give this book... Sorry, I'm thinking really hard about
be
it.
critical. Be critical.
I would give this book... somewhere between...
Go on. No, just don't even think about it.
7.5 to 8.
Okay.
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
No, so did I. I was probably gonna say something very similar. Actually, I was probably gonna say like being so used to like fantasy and like books that are like this thick. Like, this was brilliant. I fucking love this.
I also really like too that it was an easy read, and kind of like you said before, like there doesn't need to be like all of this like spicing up of the English language. It's just plainly like it is what it is. It doesn't need to be.
There's not a boatload of dialogue either.
No,
it's actually, to be honest, there's fuck all dialogue. There's a lot of like, there's not a lot of people talking unless it's like absolutely necessary. I don't know if that was the author's choice or that was because fuck all was said because people didn't want to get caught talking.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not a lot of dialogue in this either, which I thought was really... Could you imagine like whole conversations though? Probably like twice as thick, but...
Oh, yeah.
I think their conversations were kept very short in general.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Well, like, and I think you catch that even just by them like stealing away time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was a good read. It was an easy read. It was easy to kind of just like pick up and read it for like a half hour. Or, you know, which I really liked. And then just obviously the content.
Did you read or did you listen? Because I thought you said you were going to do audiobook.
I was considering it, but I did read.
Oh, this was a good pick. Nice job.
I'm really happy that you guys liked it.
Yeah.
I'm really, really happy. And Lisa's also going to read it after.
Oh, no way.
Houston, or not Houston, sorry, Will Iron's done.
I'm Houston.
He's Houston, sorry.
We have 2 Nathans in our group.
So they go by their last name.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's brilliant. Did you know he took this to his 30th when we went away?
No.
He took 2 books.
I didn't know that.
And he was like, yeah, if I get like time or whatever,
Like
if I wake up early or if we're chilling or something.
I love that.
Yeah, so did I. I was like, oh yes, you brilliant bastard.
I love that so much.
Um,
No, I'm really, really happy you guys enjoyed it. I felt a little insecure about suggesting it because I knew, like, I'm also a huge fantasy reader. So it's different than what I normally read as well, but I knew it was going to be so different than what you and Sunny know. Like, obviously, because we're into the D&D world. So, like, obviously I knew that you guys are super into fantasy. So I was just like, it's going to be a little different.
Oh yeah,
I hope you like it.
Chelsea's one of our D&D players. We sit at a table together, which is cool.
We sit at a table together.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was worried about the exact same thing with my suggestion. I was like, I'm gonna try and pick a there's so much fantasy shit there.
I loved your suggestion. I really want to read it. I voted for yours. I want to read it so bad.
I'll put it up again.
Yes.
Yeah. And you'll have to wait till next time to see it.
I just did finger guns. I'm an idiot.
Some of the shit I've done to the camera, it's fine. I can edit that out. Any last words? Anything else? I think we've covered a lot.
I think we've covered a lot. Yeah, for a short book. It's I just really enjoyed it. And I also really enjoyed that they ended up coming to Australia. Yeah. I enjoyed that so much because I did not know that. But yes, it's great.
All right, guys. Till our next one. Maybe it might be Chelsea again if her book gets picked. Who knows?
We'll
Maybe
see.
it might be me interviewing myself if my book gets picked. The most schizophrenic editing you've ever seen.
Oh my god. Can you dress up in different costumes as well?
Oh, do the half and half, like where they do the
where you
female wig.
You sit like this, and then you switch chairs and sit like this, and you have 2 different.
The Harvey Two-Face. Yeah,
please do.
I can definitely do that. Should we put the bunny in the shot?
Absolutely.
All right, come here.
Come here, bunny.
Hello, sweetheart. Are you gonna run?
Yes, you are. That hop. Oh my god.
Yeah, she thinks we're playing. She thinks we're playing. Alright, next time.
Next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. So you're sitting there losing your mind.
I stopped eating. Like I was like reading through, and eventually like my sandwich was totally forgotten. And then like by the end of it, I was like,
what have I done?
yeah. And like my coworker, I call him G. My coworker G, he was just sitting next to me. He's like, "Good bit of the book," or I'm like, "No." I'm like,
no.
I need a minute. I need a solid minute.
Yeah, very bad.
And he was just like, "Oh," and then he picked it up and went, "That's a bit heavy for work, is it?" I was like, "Yeah."
Like she is.
Oh
and
yeah.
You know that she's there, and you're just. Oh, for a second, sorry.
The rabbit strikes again.
No, I saw the reflection. I was like, how is the rabbit outside? I had like a really inward panic there for a second. Anyway, sorry.
And I remember one time I was staying with a friend called Byron. We stayed at his house. And I got up and I went to the bathroom. And then like Kim was like, "You just didn't come back for like 20 odd minutes." And then eventually you came back, just got into bed, and that was it. She's like, "I was petrified. I got up to make sure you didn't like piss in the bathtub or something." She's like, "You were in there for so long."